The Manhattan Project began on the 13th of August 1942 to produce the atomic weaponry needed to end the war that would end all wars. There was one key industrial byproduct needed. Produced by the smelting of aluminium, this byproduct was in great abundance since the looming giant which was the United States had gone into full production of its aircraft for war on the Pacific and European front. This byproduct is, of course, fluoride. Let's wind back a little bit. In 1837, Procter & Gamble was founded as a simple soap and candles manufacturer which supplied the Confederates during the American Civil War. Back to the Manhattan Project. To separate uranium, gaseous hexafluoride is needed in very large quantities to separate weapons-grade uranium-235 from diffusion plant uranium-238. This same byproduct would be pumped out into the air.
Fluoride into the air and water for over 30 years now, and people were starting to. No thanks. Alcoa factory workers were showing symptoms of poisoning from the fluoride gases. Cows getting really weak. They couldn't even stand on their own anymore, and local dentists were starting to notice.
This was far too obvious a neglect of basic health and human decency. We have a reason to be worried about this substance, yet it is so widespread in US water supplies and toothpaste when there are clearly better alternatives like coconut and charcoal, which offer superior whitening qualities at 0 parts per million neurotoxin dose. In Europe, we cannot sell fluoridated toothpaste advertised at children. It is considered too toxic and causes effects which can impair development. But why are we so tolerant of its widespread use in adults? High fluoride toothpaste contains up to 5,000 parts per million. The safe drinking tolerance in the United States is 0.7 parts per million. Here in the UK and Europe, we only fluoridate water if it is deemed necessary. Consumer toothpaste still come in at a worrying no need to worry 1,500 parts per million, which is still 2,142.857 times the safe drinking tolerance in the United States.
What we did was we exposed them, let them drink the fluoride in the water for 6 to 20 weeks. They're well known to cause a hypoactivity or a memory problem or an IQ problem. When I first presented the results, he says, "Do you have any idea what you're saying?" And he says, "You're telling us that we're reducing the IQ of children."
For me, this is absolutely unacceptable, so I removed it from my life. And the health benefits of this may shock you. Fluoride's largest effect on the brain is the pineal gland, the same gland which is responsible for producing melatonin. In modern societies, where it is completely normalized to intake a large dose of fluoride just as you go to sleep and just as you wake up, where the outflow of melatonin is crucial to the waking cycle, is it any wonder that we are marching to a depressed, sleep-deprived state of being where the governing circadian rhythms are the screens which we stare at and people are dying early of stress? I say no to it all.
Pregnant rats who were fed fluoridated water were giving birth to hyperactive babies of human mothers who drank fluoridated water showed signs of a lowered IQ and hyperactivity, while the females did not.
That many boys start falling behind then. Boys are falling behind in school at all levels, starting in kindergarten. You know, they don't have as good fine motor control.
Once I defluoridated my life, I began to notice something. Something very miraculous in the way I would live my life. As someone who would never dream, or scarcely dream, and was very prone to sleep paralysis, all of a sudden, I was having more dreams. I would wake up feeling reinvigorated and ready to get on with the day. Most miraculous of all was my ability to remember dreams in absolute clarity and having up to 5 per night sometimes. I would verify this using rapid eye movement measurements on my watch, which tracked sleep cycles. I was in REM up to 2 hours some nights, and sometimes I would even be in REM longer than my deep sleep cycles. This is when it all clicked for me.
Hi friends, today I'm going to share with you 10 things that are going to change your life. I had poor sleep my entire life, and I just logged what is potentially the best sleep score in human history, 8 months of perfect sleep. Is this the dude that's obsessed with his son? Yes. So far, yes. And something to do with blood?
Yes.
Transfusions of the blood of a younger, physically fit donor can significantly retard the aging process.
The vampire going insane.
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson. He calls himself the world's most measured human.
Jared Leto, Wolverine kind. Okay, cool. You know what? Actually,
I'm with you. Yes. Thank you.
Infusions from his son.
That guy's weird.
Man, but he does look younger.
He looks great. But
healthy to never get sunlight and to be that pasty looking? Yes.
You are one of the chosen ones.
Part of the original reason why I began this journey is because I heard that defluoridation of the pineal gland would result in an increased creative drive, imagination, and ability. In actuality, those came naturally as a result of good quality sleep and a natural synchronization with the sun by waking at sunrise and retiring to my room to read by candlelight at sunset. This was the key to creativity. Not some magical mystery drug. Not some crazy routine where you get up at 5 AM and brutalize yourself while overdosing on caffeine, which I have done and I can tell you is wholly unsustainable. No. It was about balance, attuning to the God-given gifts which we have all been lent on our sorry time in Earth and living fully, fruitfully, and free from material addiction. Around this time, I was also experimenting with the paleo diet, which removes even more toxins from the food supply by eating freshly prepared food I would make myself. It was no wonder that this was the turnaround for me. I hadn't mentioned it earlier in the video, but over the past 4 years I have been studying a course in rocket science while keeping my music career alive, helping to develop multiple indie game titles and keeping fit enough to run half marathons on a weekly basis. There are no hacks. There is just working smart, working hard, and eliminating the toxic habits from your life. If you want to make better music, then you need to live a better life. Something I've really noticed with the increased frequency and clarity of my dreams is that they began to start reflecting my own life in a very strange, narrative kind of driven way. Dreams are funny things. They are like your brain tried to make sense of things in a very subconscious manner. As a result, they often reflect the raw emotional value of a circumstance, memory, or experience. While you sleep, spinal fluids are released which begin the memory development process. That's why good sleep will improve your exam performance, which is really what I was after during my time at Masters at university. The byproduct are these amazing and bizarre scenarios which will resonate with you at your most core level. It is this that drove me to experiment with keeping a dream diary, a place where I would write down and aim to make sense of it all. And sure enough, it did begin to make a lot of sense. By this method, I was able to archetypically analyze my dreams and develop a methodology. This would allow me to establish common narrative trends I developed within my life and identify where and what influenced the dreams by deductive reasoning. It's really amazing how studies on the subconscious can reveal so much about your own human nature, some real MK Ultra type stuff.
Bob, The message is now have been registered in your subconscious mind.
It has now been a year since I released my album, Obscure Gem from the Darkest Corners of the Internet. Now that's an album title. This album was completely based on the writings from my dream diary and ordered in a way which had a close personal relationship to my development as a human being. We range from tracks like Baraki from the Bionicle universe, which was caused by watching a 9-hour video synopsis of the entire Bionicle lore and story, which itself is inspired by Polynesian folklore.
Bionicle. Sick fucking gent riffs.
There is the track Spawn of Kafuba, which was caused by the consumption of the hilarious Tuba Warriors meme, but took on an eldritch-like Cthulhu appearance to represent the kind of parasitic nature that modern memes and trends take on. Final and favourite example, there is the track Logos, which reflects the dreams I was having after learning about Nikola Tesla and his obsession with the numbers 3, 6 and 9, which indicated the dark state of matter, the key to the universe, and helps us understand